So, after 174 rehearsals, I am now presenting my first ever sermon as your new official minister. Speaking of official ministry, some have asked me over the days what I should be called. Like those computer forms we fill out with the pull-down menus where you choose an option, you know. What is your title? Mrs., Mr., Ms., Doctor, they. My friend Bob was doing that and decided to look at the options. So now I guess I have to call him Sir Bob. I notice those selections are often limited and do not include Rev. But here's my trick. Make any title you want. Just enter it in front of your first name. You want to be royalty? Just type Queen in front of your name. We have Queen Mary, Queen Anne. How about King Charles? Have two, King James. Nice work on the Bible there. We could also have a fountain of joy. What else? Pick your name.
The goddess Rhea.
The goddess Rhea. Any others got a name you like? Queen Elizabeth. Hootin' tootin' shootin' Annie. I love it. See, you can now open up and be whoever you want. Names and titles. I have a friend I met on the Wild Reserve tour. Her adopted name is Spirit of Life. Nice, right? We love that one. Names and titles can be so great when you pick them out yourself, or when they are chosen to fit who you really are inside. That's how Indians get their names, through vision questing. It's how I became the wolf. Question number 1, what name do you claim for yourself? I have lapel pins so that people can know what to call me. Here's one. It says Unitarian Universalist. But the print is so small you have to be very friendly to read it. I like this one a lot. Cave diver. That's official too. I also have, you can probably almost read this one, chaplain. I wore this for my CPE work at Shands Hospital, Clinical Pastoral Education, CPE. Here's a sailboat. Although it doesn't indicate that I'm a captain, that's what Bob, my sailing buddy, calls me, Captain Jack. From Carnival Cruise Line, VIFP.
Very important fun person.
Oh, he got it. He nailed it. I am a very important fun person. Good title, and you could be one too. I have some royalty also. On Royal Caribbean, I'm a member of the Crown and Anchor Society, which means I married someone who loves to go on cruises and still takes me along. You go to 100 cruises, you too can get one. This is very difficult to earn. But my favorite titular recognition, and I use the word titular advisedly, ask Google, is a pen that spells out R-E-V. So formal looking. I bought this at a UU General Assembly. It is made of Scrabble letters. Really captures the solemn grace and the authority of my position. So, you can call me Reverend Jack or Reverend Wolf, as my Florida colleagues do, or Pastor Jack, as my new friend Marcella does, or Reverend Captain Willie the Wolf. I'm okay with anything as long as you're smiling when you call me. Now, question 2 that I hear often, what is this I'm doing here? What am I doing up here? Am I preaching a sermon, presenting a lecture, giving a talk, leading a discussion? My answer again, you tell me. I've heard sermons, thousands of them in my life, given hundreds. I'm comfortable with it. I listen to them. I learn from them. I attempt to grow spiritually, and I move on. I don't think of what I do as lectures. That sounds like I'm talking at you. I try to go deeper and give you myself. But if sermon and spiritual and preach rub you wrong, call it whatever you want. If you can find 3 minutes worth of significance in this whole worship experience, and then go off on a tangent, dwelling on it or running down some rabbit hole, then I have done my job. I don't just mean preaching either. It can be a song, a video, a story for all ages that touches you. It could be one phrase or quote. UU Reverend George Kimmich Beach, he's one of those 3-name people. I always hear his name that way. If you said George Beach, I wouldn't know who you meant. Who is Martin King? Right? Or Ralph Emerson. I mean, where's Waldo? Anyway, Reverend Beach said, I do not believe what I do believe on account of tradition or authority. Appeals to the authority of a book or a church, he said, do not satisfy my need to make my principles my own. Now, Beach used the word affirmations, but I like the word principles. We don't just affirm our faith in Unitarian Universalism. We promote what we believe in. UU ministers joke a lot about not having any authority, or about UUs being so independent-minded that they have no respect for authority. That means hard-headed. I learned that in marriage. Actually, I was kind of independent-minded. It took 2 marriages to learn it, but really, as I see it, authority is not an issue for the ministry. In the world of pirates or native people, leader is the one that people choose to follow. And if you're not leading in the right direction, well, Martin Luther said, everyone must do their own believing and their own dying. I can lead by understanding where you want to go. So, question 3. Where do you want to go? On our sailing trips, Bobcat is the navigator. I'm the helmsman. I steer, he gives directions. Very important to work together. So we get up every morning and we ask, where do we want to go today? How far is it? What's the weather? Bob spent the evening before charting directions, plotting our courses we will need to take. We build in plans for the unexpected, the uncontrollable. And then it's my turn. I sit in the cockpit, holding the tiller, and focused on the compass or the clouds that I can steer by, watching the wind and the waves and the sails, patiently sitting and sitting and sitting. Dan Fogelberg sings a love song, Hard to Say. It's a beautiful song. There's a verse in the song that says, it's never easy and it's never clear who's to navigate and who's to steer. And so you flounder, drifting ever near the rocks. That's what happens if we don't know where we're going. And every single time that I have sailed to the Bahamas, I have seen it happen. A sailboat on the rocks, sunk, abandoned, someone's dream gone to ruins. It happens in churches too, especially small ones, but not exclusively. People get burned out. The same small group doing everything except for the complaining. That they leave to others. But I know the cure. I do. The cure is vision. Where there is no vision, the people perish. Do you envision where you want this congregation to be next year, in 5 years, 10 years? I can steer the ship, but I can't be the navigator too. We welcome all souls as we meet on spiritual common ground to build our shared vision. Where have I heard that before? Oh yes. You just promised one another you would do that just 30 minutes ago. I am so excited for this ministry with you. I have been brainstorming. I want to share ideas, but I can't do them all. I am in a half-time role and I'm already burning 40 hours a week when I preach. I see Thursday night becoming a central focus for all souls. An opportunity for us to interact with our hosts here at First Presbyterian. Perhaps to merge our common interests in befriending these neighbors who might benefit the most from our covenant. We do this work for the difference it will make in their lives. I have pledged to be here Thursday nights until at least 7 p.m., except when I am traveling. The door is open whether we have a planned activity or not. I have Netflix account. We can watch a movie. We have games to play. We have the river to enjoy, or just stop by to bend my ear. In the last 2 gatherings, we had homeless friends come join us and visitors from First Presbyterian. We are practicing ecumenical outreach, partnership, compassion, friendship, love. we have someone already interested in joining us. My speaker calendar is on our website. I will post my travel plans as well so you can know when I am here and will be here. Every Sunday, I will be at church by 09:45. I would like to hold another 8-week, where is it? Evensong. These were well received in the past, and I think we could do some more. It's an 8-week class. Or maybe do a class on Stephen Levine's A Year to Live. I've been wanting to do this. I have not done this one yet. It is how to live this year as if it were your last. And I hear that it is life-changing. Want to take a trip to the UU Mountain Retreat in North Carolina? Yes? Yes? There are programs year-round. What about creating something uniquely All Souls? Some kind of annual retreat or playground we could do. Let's have water communion service in the fall and flower communion service in the spring. Could we set up some kind of campus outreach with the local college? In Valdosta, Georgia, VSU was one of the biggest growth areas of our congregation. And that is how we went from 12 to 60 people. Professors are often liberal-minded. Students are full of energy. And what about our schools? They are so much on the attack now, banning books and classes that teach the very things we stand for. But as I understand it, student-led events enjoy freedom of the pulpit. Maybe there is something there for us. 3 questions at the beginning of my ministry. What are we called? What is our title, our name? What does it mean to be all souls? Where are the young, the people of color, the alphabet soup, the flamboyant, the dancers, the singers? Number 2, what are we doing here? Preaching, teaching, lecturing, discussing, following rituals, sailing along, walking a path. What awaits us? Who's to navigate and who's to steer? Question number 3, where are we going? What is our vision? What course shall we steer? Are you part of the crew or just along for the ride? Are you diving in or sitting it out? The sharks are in the water. Namaste. I love you. And I love the sharks as well.